One. Hey, I'm going to show you how to build a simple card model. They come in a couple of different looks, different sizes, shapes, but all the processes are the same. What we do is we print on high quality vinyl. Our vinyl is the same type of material that is used for outdoor mailboxes, car logos, vending machines, heavy equipment. It's a very heavy sticker. It's on a vinyl. So these aren't your traditional card models, which are just printed on paper. So I'm going to show you how we build these advanced card models that work great with your minifigures. So you'll get your card model being a tent or other structure, and it's printed on this big sticker. The easy way is to cut it out with a regular pair of scissors. At this stage, it doesn't have to be an exact line cut around your model, so don't worry about that as of yet. I'm going to go ahead and cut out the pieces and lay them here so you can see what we're going to do with them. If you're building a tent, the card models will have extra little pieces here on the sides. Do not worry about cutting those out yet. Those are going to be to cover the seams as we build this model. Cut out into these rough shapes here. We're going to go ahead and stick them on the included cardstock. This is about 80-pound standard cardstock. Tools you need for building your models, by the way: a pair of scissors, some tape, and a straight edge. I have this fancy ruler, but you can use any ruler that works as a straight edge. And you see the extra pieces still on the sticker material. Those will come later. We'll just put those to the side. So first thing we're going to do is take our image, peel it off, and we're going to mount them to this piece of paper like that. So I'll go ahead and do that. I've cleaned these up just a little bit, cut around the edges. You don't have to do that, but I have done that. So when you stick your sticker to the paper, this is industrial adhesive. So when you put it on this paper, you only get one shot to put it down. If you put it down and want to pull it up and move it, it's going to stick and it will not work. So just keep that in mind. The easy way to put it on is just do one end and kind of roll it down and then smooth it out. If there's any little bubbles in it, that will just, and now trim these out. You'll have something like that. Okay. And try to be diligent about cutting them out, cutting them fairly straight on the line. Kind of like that. If you have a little bit of whiteness on the edge, it's okay, because this is a fold line right here, and so it's going to be folded back up underneath the tent. If there's no fold line, that's a hard seam, like on the roof here, you want to make sure you cut as straight as you can. So I'm going to cut these out. Five. So I've got my pieces cut out. As you can see, some of them I've started to bend a little bit to save time. The ones that have the material that's going to fold around the back, I left this one messy just to show you that in the end it won't make a difference if you have a little bit of whiteness left on your pieces here. The only place it really makes a difference is here where there's no fold lines, because that's going to be a visible seam. This is the roof of the tent. It's actually going to be down like that. You can see there's a little bit of white right here. See if you can see that in the camera. Easiest way to hide that so your models look more professional is I have a big Sharpie, but you can use pretty much any color Sharpie you want. Brown, black, dark green. And if you just color the edges a little bit, like this, it will hide that white of the cardstock, the paper cut, and make you look like a professional. It actually makes your image look more realistic, and it's a quick and easy trick to do You can do it after your model's built as well. And you should only need to do that to the uncut edges. And that applies for the tents or the crates that we sell or any of the other structures. You just put a little bit on there. And that's all you have to do for that. As far as folding, these are pre-folded, or I bent them off camera, and you can see they're folded inwards, and there's a reason for that. Again, I left some extra white on here just so you can see it doesn't have to be perfect. With your ruler, again, mine's a fancy triangle ruler, you're just going to put it on the seam line. It's hard to see in here, but between the seam line and where the fold's supposed to be. And I found it's easier if you just fold it towards you initially. So you'll fold it in, even though when you build it, it's going to be behind it. So you're going to fold these things in like that. Same with the roof. Find the center of it where it needs to be folded. Give it a good little crease like that. And you'll do all the pieces that way. And the reason I fold them in first is because then it's pretty easy to take that cardstock and just to put it the other direction and give it that nice tight seam, that nice tight fold. And it's going to get ready. So when you start to build, you know, you can see where your lines need to be. If you fold it this way initially, you can do it, but it just seems a little bit harder to get those lines nice and tight, because by folding it towards you initially, like this one, I can see where the line needs to be exactly. And then I'll fold it. And fold it. So you see. You can fold them like that, and then you'll just bend them back. It just makes it really easy, quick, and your models will be a little bit sharper. You can sit there and give them nice 90 degrees, but it won't make a big difference right off the bat.
6.
So I'll finish folding
so we got
this,
our pieces
and I'm going to
folded.
get one side ready to go.
We got a nice crease.
They're facing backwards. And again, like I had mentioned, if you had a kind of a rough cut on the back, it won't make a difference because it will be inside. I got some tape ready to go. Make sure you pull off a few pieces. Makes your life a little easier. We try to include some vinyl sometimes. If I didn't put this in your kit, I apologize. It's kind of as we have extra, but if you do have some of it in there, it should be pre-scored, and you can pull off that little score. And again, it's the same material, and I like to just cut it up into a couple of strips, kind of like that. Move him out of the way. So it gives me some big vinyl tape, essentially, big sticker, right? Gives me some big sticker material that I can use on the inside of my model if I need it. So I'm going to show you how to put the sides together. It doesn't matter if you start right or left. You're going to want to just kind of line up your pieces. They'll just straightforward, just make sure they're straight, not crooked, right? Line up your pieces. There's a little seam there. Take a piece of clear tape. Smaller tape is better, but for this purpose, we're just going to use a big tape. My tape's a little long, so I'm just going to cut it. All right, so that's number one. And this is where you put an extra piece of tape, or you can use a bigger piece of vinyl. Just reinforces it. Doesn't matter. So you'll put that on there, and again, you just make sure you kind of keep the seams tight. So there's one side. And then we're going to do, I like to do the other side, but it doesn't matter. I can do it over here. Same thing. Take that side, line up your lines. Doesn't have to be 100% exact. A little piece of tape. We'll put a piece of tape on the back. You'll find that if you tape the inside, it will just hold together better, be a little bit stronger. And make sure you put this right side up versus upside down, right? Same thing. Just see where you want to put it, that seam, give or take. Grab my tape. That's why it's important to rip it beforehand. Just makes it easy. You can actually take the longer end and wrap it under the bottom. And we'll do the same here. I know I didn't reinforce the corner, but you get the idea. Same thing. Right here, coming down the corner, pretty straight, goes over. And so you've
right
got
now
your,
you have
your basic structure built. Your roof is got a nice fold in it, and we're just going to apply our roof. So the trick is you focus on one side, getting one side straight. Again, I reloaded my tape here, and you just kind of have to fiddle with it a little bit to get it where you want it to be. Sometimes you'll put this together and decide that you want to move it around. So the vinyl's pretty forgiving with the Scotch tape, so you're able to build it and move it. And so again, just kind of working that one side first. So if I needed to pull this apart, I could take the tape off and readjust it, checking the line here, the lines on the side. Some people like to have it open so they can access their figures, but here we're just going to go ahead and close it all up.
Is this 8 or 9? I'm not sure.
So anyway, your structure is pretty much built, but it's definitely a little wobbly, a little flimsy. It will last. You can play with it, set up your figures, but if you want to make it a little stronger, you can take a piece of cardboard, and this is just a regular piece of cardboard we had lying around. If you don't have any of this, you can actually use like a cereal box or some sort of kitchen cardboard that you might have. You're going to want to cut it just a little bit smaller than the diameter of the bottom of the tent. And again, grab a little tape here, and you just kind of, so figure it out. You want to do this after you get your top. Me, just because I have a larger sheet of vinyl, put it on the bottom. It grips really well, and it makes your structure where it doesn't really flex or move because you got that piece of cardboard in there. If you don't have this vinyl, which you may not, again, just use some duct tape or masking tape, whatever you have. Over tape it. Doesn't matter how much you put on there. I left this just so you could see, and when it's flat you don't see the white. Okay, now for these other pieces, this is all individual. These other pieces that are included with your kit, these are stickers, and again what you'll do is just kind of cut them out. Try to make sure there's no white on these pieces because you're going to stick them over the top of your model, right? So you'll cut them out, peel them off. I've already peeled some off here. There's different sizes, and so you can take those little pieces and they will hide your seams and cover up, you know, some of your tape just to make your tent blend in. Stuff like that, you know. These aren't cut perfectly, but just to give you an idea, you can easily put those, cover up your tape, and wrap them over, and it will give you a nice tight seam. You'll get this versus that, and because it's permanent vinyl, it'll last for years unless you step on it or your dog eats it or something of that nature. And you know, you do as you need to. If you want to go back and squirt a little glue under there, you can. Long piece right here, you know. Let me pull this off real quick.
We offer
a bunch of different crates that you can get and use with your minifigures. This is an example of 2 crates, and it's built the same way as the tent. I won't go into building it, but you'll get the idea. You just cut it out. You have your fold lines, and then you'll fold at each diameter of the crates. So this one here has actually 4 crates, 2 and 2. So you have sides, side, top, and then 2 sides. And this is a different crate. So again, you just do it the same way. You cut it out, stick it to your cardstock, and then you fold it, tape it. This one doesn't have the extra pieces. Sorry, that's the compressor. Extra pieces, but you can use a brown marker and it will color any white that you have that's exposed and your crates will come out really nice. Hope this helps. Thanks.